Sean Squires, wide receiver. I'm a senior at DuPont Manual.
This is your 4th year playing for Manual.
Mm-hmm.
Started varsity, or came on to varsity your sophomore year.
Sophomore year.
What was that like?
It was really special. There's a lot of tradition behind it, but my sophomore year I got a concussion that put me out for 6 weeks, so not really what I expected out of that year, but it was still a good year to start playing on varsity.
What did you learn from that experience? The concussion, the coming on, the playing behind older guys. What was that like?
You just kind of have to. That was kind of when I learned that you really have to shine on varsity. You really have to grind for your spot, and nothing's really going to be handed to you.
I've heard a lot of other players have mentioned hard work and how much coach emphasizes that and how much you guys emphasize that.
Mm-hmm.
What role does that play on game day, on practices, on a day-to-day basis? What is hard work like?
To beat the good teams in 6A, you can't mess around at practice. It's all serious. You can't, take anything for granted. You got to work hard. You got to run every play like it's in the game during practice. So you just have to make sure you prepare yourself in the right way. And
Talk about not cutting practice. When you're working with younger guys who are still learning what it takes to be on high school football and what it takes to win on this level, how do you teach them that this is not a time to mess around or hang out? This is a time to work and work together.
A lot of them coming out of middle school, that's all they knew, just playing around at practice, because at that level it doesn't really matter. It's just all about, who's a better athlete. But in high school, you just have to instill in them early that they need to know that nothing's going to be handed to them, and just because you were the best player on your team in middle school doesn't mean anything in high school. So you just have to, early on, they'll figure it out. But some of them could catch on early, and those are the ones that you'll see end up playing varsity really early on, and then some of them, it takes a long time for them to get that mindset right.
4 years on the team.
Mm-hmm.
As serious as you guys take it in practice, there are those fun moments, those funny moments. What is something that in 30 years you'll look back on and it'll make you laugh?
I think just the whole situation with our linebacker coach, Coach Bacco, every day, if you just watch the man, he's probably the funniest person I've ever met. So I think I'll definitely remember just Coach Bacco and being around him for a long time.
What's your favorite Coach Bacco quote?
Quote, I would have to say, he said something was going to make him really happy, and he said, it'll make me so happy I'll even get a little chub. So that's probably my favorite Coach Bacco quote.
So speaking of the other coaches, your head coach, Coach Harmony, you guys are his first class.
Mm-hmm.
So what has that been like growing up with him, having him really be your leader from day one on varsity at least? What's it been like going through your years with him?
I think it's been pretty special for us, and then growing up with him, and I think it's been pretty special to him too, because we were his first class, and we've all grown pretty close to him, and we're a small class, and so I think we all have a really good relationship with him. So I think that benefits us, and it benefits the younger guys because they see that relationship with that we have with the coach, and then they want to shoot for the same thing. So
you're a smaller class. What has that been like with everything from relationships with the coach, relationships with each other, and even leading the team right now as a smaller group of guys?
I think it shows a lot of perseverance through our class, because even though freshman year we had a bigger class, it was about double what we have now, but it still wasn't that big, and a lot of the players on that team left, and so I think that shows with the guys that are still playing, it just shows that we still, wanted to stick with it and, show some dedication to the younger guys and to the coaches to show that, it really matters to us.
This season is one of our greatest for the past few years. You just beat St. X. What was that feeling like?
I've never felt anything like that in my life. It was the best game, best feeling that I've ever had, to come back down 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter on senior night when you haven't beat a team in 26 years and 32 games. I've never felt anything like it. It was the best moment I've ever had.
Saw a post on Instagram after the game, and De'Aaron said that Coach said, look up at the scoreboard. says 2019.
Mm-hmm.
When he said that, what was that like?
See, like, I'm just thinking about it now, I'm getting chills, but that's just, I guess it's just another testament to this year and to everything we've gone through. So again, that was pretty special. 2019, I think, it's a big turnaround year for Manual football. The past 2 years haven't been the greatest seasons. We won 9 combined games in the past 2 years, and this year we're on track to, tie that or beat that at least. Not even all the way through with the season. So, that was pretty big and pretty emotional for all of us when we looked up and saw that. So
You beat your first really, really big opponent, St. X.
Mm-hmm.
The next big guy is Male.
Mm-hmm.
They're ranked first in the state, one of the best teams in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys preparing for that matchup?
We just have to, it's all about your mindset. It's all about how prepared you are. We have to make sure that we're the more prepared team going into that game. So, you can't get too ahead of yourself. You can't think, oh, look, they're ranked top 20 in the nation. You can't get ahead of yourself. You can't look at all that. You just have to go out. Anybody can get beat on any given night, so you have to go out and be the better team.
Speaking of rankings, Manual had been pretty slept on, especially with, before you guys played St. X, they were up in the top 10 in the state or something, and you guys were barely in the top 25. How much does that affect you guys? How much does that matter to you? Do you even consider it?
We, early on in the season, when we were winning games, and we were still, number 8, 9, and 6A, we kind of felt like, we were getting disrespected. And even though, we were beating teams that we weren't supposed to beat, we were coming back, we were playing together, we felt like we took it as disrespect. And so we finally got this chance to play St. X. And, now this last week's rankings came out, and now we've moved up to number 4 in 6A. So I think that, that alone gives a lot of energy and hope throughout the program. So, it helps our morale a lot.
Throughout the season, it's a long season. How do you keep not only the younger guys, but even the older guys focused on the goal that this is a commitment, we got to keep going through this, and that you have Male at the end of the year?
Mm-hmm. I'd say we have to go day by day. We can't, worry about another team because we got a team to play this week. So I think, it's all day by day. You can't really get ahead of yourself. You got to just stay focused today and then worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes, and make sure you stay focused tomorrow. So I'd say, that's how we make it work.
What is the funniest thing Coach Carmody has ever said?
I'd say I think it was sophomore year, he was explaining to us about why he didn't care about any other team except for the guys who were sitting in front of him. And he said, I don't give one squirt of rat piss about anybody except for the guys that are sitting in front of me right now.
So Coach Carmody's a pretty intense guy.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the veins popping out of his neck all the way from the student section when he's coaching games. Do you like that? Do you not like it? Does it push you guys?
I love it because I see how invested he is and how much it matters to him. So that rubs off on me, and it rubs off on all the other guys that you want it just as bad as he does. And so if you have a coach that doesn't care, what's that going to look for the team? The team's not going to care. So even though when you do mess up, he will yell at you, he will, call you some stuff he wish he didn't call you, but at the end of the day, it's very helpful to the program that he's intense and that he wants it just as bad as we do.
Zach is back.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Rechtenwald, our quarterback, went out with a very bad back injury sophomore year. And it took him out all of junior year, and he didn't even know if he was going to play until earlier this summer. So what's it been like rebuilding that trust, rebuilding that timing, really recrafting your on-the-field relationship with him?
Me and Zach have been working pretty well together since, freshman year, playing on JV together. So, it was hard to see him go down junior year because we were really expecting a big year out of him, and that kind of changed a lot of stuff for our offense, and we just found out that he was going to go out, I think, 3 or 4 days before we played Central. So it was right before the beginning of our season. And when you learn your starting quarterbacks out, that hurts the team a lot, that hurts our morale. And as a receiver, that kind of hurts you personally because you don't know what that means for your chances. And then when we're starting a quarterback like a freshman quarterback, you don't really know what that's going to mean with, his trust, his, where his mindset's at. So Zach coming back this summer, we really had to work hard together to just start clicking again. And me and the other receivers, I think at this point of the season, we're, opening up the passing game a lot more. And so we're going to start needing each other more and more as the season goes on.
Who do you play for?
That's a really good question. I'd say my teammates motivate me because I get the opportunity to play and some of them don't, and I see some of them put in just as much work as I do and end up not playing. So I'd say I play for my teammates because even though I know some of the experiences I get, some of them won't. And so I put in that time and put in that hard work to show my guys that, no matter what, that I'm there for them. And so, yeah, I'd say I play for my teammates.
What is your message to Male?
Male, you better be ready because I know we are. We haven't won in 6 years, so, senior year, we're coming for you.